All right, we continue on. So in the previous video, we added the -- list option where you can enter, for example, red, green, blue, yellow, and it would handle that. Now we want to handle the -- file option. So of course all of this is in our implementation, the cli.c. We just handled the list in the previous video, so now we'll focus on handling -- file. We won't handle that. So when we think about it, if you enter the main and the -- file, if you get here, the very next thing we need is a file name. So we want to first make sure you've entered a file now. So make sure we have a file name. So we can say if the arg count does not equal to, in this case, 1, 2, 3. So we're actually expecting for this an argument count of 3. If it does not equal 3, then we could do a printf to standard error, and say must have file name. Right? And like we did before, we'll just say exit. Maybe we'll say exit 3 this time if that's the exit condition. So to test that out real quick, we can click on run, and we can say /main -- file, but I'm not going to give a file name, and notice it says must have file name. As opposed to if I do my file, now notice it continues on. So that gets us to here. Of course, the next thing we want to read in the file, right? Read each entry in file. So read in each entry in the file. And when we think about it, each thing we read is going to be a separate string. So let's say these items were in a file. In fact, let me do this. Well, actually, let's go ahead and create a file before we read it in. I'll click on Add File, and let's call it, I'm going to call it colors.txt. So colors.txt. And maybe I'll say red, green, blue, yellow. All right, those will be my colors. In a file called colors.txt. So when we go to my cli.c, where I had my comment about wanting to read the entry in each file, or read each entry. Well, each entry is going to be a string, so I'm going to have a character pointer call that word. Right, we'll have for each word. Now, we also need to open the file. In fact, even before we worry about that, I'm going to say open the file. So the way we open a file, it's of data type file pointer. And actually, even before we do that, once we make sure we have the file name, why don't we have a character pointer, file name, I'll say file name, equals argv of 2. And again, let me come over here and run in main. argv of 2, because this is 0, 1, 2. So we're saying take this, and it's going to be our file name. Now once we've got our file name, we need to open it. So to open it, we're going to have a file pointer, I'll just call it file, equals f open. So file open. Notice file open, when it pops up the help, it says give it a file name and give it the mode you're going to open it in. Well, the file name is going to be file name. Right, that's what we entered on the command line. And then we need to see how we're going to open it. We're going to open it for read. So in double quotes, R says read only. So read only. We're going to open this for read only. Now the fact is, you may try to open this file and it's not really there. If it's not there, I need to check for that. So I'll say if null, which is basically 0, if it exactly equals, notice I've got double equals, if null is exactly equal to file, then we have a problem. And if we have a problem, in this case, since the problem is coming from this fopen, we can say p error for print error, and we'll say fopen. And what this will do is print out an error for us. And once it prints out an error, we can say, oh, let's say exit 4. By the way, notice how each exit condition, I'm given a different number. So this way you can always identify why you exited. Did you exit because there was not a file name given, or did you exit because the file name was not there? Right? Those are different error conditions. So we've got a 3 and a 4. Now, whatever we do at the end of this, we want to close the file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say close the file once we're done. I'm going to go ahead and do that, close the file, by saying fclose, so file close, the file name. The reason you want to close it, the idea is you open it, you use it, and then you close it. So right here we open it, we use it, we close it. We'll come back to reading it in just a moment. So let's test out this code. Let's click on Run. I'll come over here, do a clear, /main -- file. Of course, we know we must have a file name. So -- file, my file, which we know does not exist, so I should get an error. Sure enough, fopen, no such file or directory. Cool. Now let's give it our file, main -- file. Let's see, I call it colors.txt. All right. Notice it. We didn't get any error message, so it must have read it. So all we need to do is read in each entry that's in that file. And for right now, we'll just be happy to see that we're reading from each entry. So I'm going to say, let's see, since we want to keep reading this, let's think about this. We want to go to my colors. I want to read, basically keep reading until there's nothing else to read. Right? I want to read it at least once, but keep doing it until there's nothing else to read. So what I'll do is this. In my cli.c, we'll say let's read the first word. So we'll say integer result equals f scan f, giving it the file. Notice the pop-up help. It says give me the file, give me what it is you're looking for. We're looking for a string, %s, and show me where to put it. You're going to put it, we'll give it a pointer to Word. All right, that's what we're going to do. Now notice when I do that, I've got my warning. Format specifies type character pointer, but the argument is type character pointer. So we go, oh, okay, we'll do this. So notice how I take advantage of this pop-up help. You know, when you get a warning, take advantage of that. And what we could do is say, while the result does not equal end EOF, which is end of file. So EOF equals end of file. So while we're not equal to the end of file, we'll do a printf. Now we'll do a printf showing the word. Go %, it's \n. Now it turns out we have a bug in this program. You may be observing the bug, but I'm purposely holding off because this is another case where I see a lot of errors made on this. So just if you see it, yes, I know it's there, and if you don't see it, that's okay because that's part of this. So the idea is we'll read the first one. If we're not at the end of file, we'll print it out, and then we'll do it again. So we'll say result. Basically, result equals again f scanf of file %s again. So we're looking for a string, putting it in that word. Okay. Now let me click on run. Remember, I said we might have an error here, but let's find out. We'll do a main dash file. Mine was called colors.txt. Whoa, that's certainly not what I was expecting. This is an endless loop. I tell you we had a bug, right? So I'm gonna basically stop this. So you click on your stop button. Right, that was not good. That was not good at all. Clearly we did something not right. So one thing you could do is click on, let me do this again. I'll come over here. Well, so we know that as we go through this loop, this while loop, we know that what we're expecting to find, we weren't expecting to find null, we were expecting to see a word. So although I know it's wrong, I'm going to kind of take the position, let's suppose I don't know what's wrong, because I want to give you some debug skills. One thing we might could do is this. We could say printf result. So the result %d. So we're kind of looking at debugging now, right? Maybe I want to see what is result and print that out. And when I come through here, I might want to do the same thing. I might want to show my result. And remember, just for debugging purposes, something you can do is just exit. And that way we get, it's kind of like we go get some information, then we'll exit. So let's run that. Remember, this is just a debugging technique if you're not sure what's going on. So we'll say main dash file colors.txt. Now notice when we read this, we got a result of 0. A result of 0. A result of 0 means when we asked it to scan this file, we did not, basically it should tell us how many things it found in the file. So when we go to this colors.txt, we were expecting it to find a red, right? We were expecting it to find that. But instead it says it didn't find anything. It didn't find anything. I wonder what is going wrong here. So the result was 0. We told it the file was open, right? We opened it here. And we said look for a string. Well, the problem is, instead of this being a pointer, it should be an array, I'll say of 10. It should be an array where it can copy these in. Now let's make this one change, and remember we have a whole section on arrays and pointers coming up. But what this says is give us 10 boxes that hold 10 characters. Now if I make that one change, I'll click on run, and then I say main dash file colors.txt. Whoa. Look at that. So you can see a lot of these videos I will purposely take you down a path that runs into trouble sometimes, because having taught this course so many years, I know what will where you'll get problems will occur. So I try to emphasize those, and more importantly, I try to show you good debugging techniques. So this actually looks like pretty good to know. And in fact, you could say at this point, I wonder if I comment out this exit, is my code correct now if I comment this out? And I click on run, and I come here, /main -- file colors.txt. Whoa, check that out. Red, green, blue, yellow. Result is -1. So we find out this EOF, end of file, is actually -1. End of file is actually -1. Now, for the sake of this particular video, it turns out as we read these in, there's some more work to do to put them into the list. But for this particular lesson, we're not going to worry about that. We'll actually come back to this in the next lesson. For this lesson, we're happy just to read in the file. Okay, we're happy just to read in the file. So make sure you've got your code to go like we have here. Instead of using colors, you can use whatever you'd like. You could use numbers, the name of sports, name of automobiles, the names of your kids. Well, as long as, well, you'd need more than 3, I guess. So maybe, but whatever, whatever your list is. And of course, you can always use colors. That's pretty easy to use. Okay, as always, get your code running like I've got mine here, and see you back in the next video. I'm Norman McIntyre. Thanks as always for watching.